doesn't really sound like the Bob Seger version we just listened to. It kind of sounds stiff, mechanical, as if artificial intelligence was playing it. Shouldn't it sound more like this? So why are they different? And why does one sound more relaxed and free-feeling and the other one just sounds stiff and stifling? Well, that's what you're here to find out, and we're going to go over it. I'm going to take you on a deep dive of rhythm playing. If you're a beginner, stick around. Some of this may be a little ahead of you, but I think it's a valuable lesson you'll be able to use for a long time. And if you're more advanced and you're hoping to advance your acoustic guitar playing a bit, this may be of help to you, so thanks for stopping by. Night Moves is a very common song played by beginners, intermediates. Most guitar players seem to want to play this song because it's fairly simple, just a few chords, and most of them are familiar, except the F can be a little difficult. There are hundreds of tutorials out there going over how to play Night Moves and going over the chords and the rhythm pattern. And it's played by hundreds of cover bands and in all situations. And the thing is, are you interested in capturing the feel of it, the rhythm guitar and how it flows and how it moves? And we're going to go over that. Really, if you want to learn how to play guitar, you have to learn how to listen to guitar in order to learn how to play it well. If you can't hear it, you can't play it. You have to hear it with the ears first and then hear it internally so you can play it naturally, because guitar should sound natural and not forced. So we're going to go over the original song and some of the intricacies of the rhythm pattern. But first, let's go over the simple things, the chords on it. The intro is what we're going to go over in the verses. The first chord is G, and this is the full four-finger G, the second finger, well, first of all, capo on the first fret. That was the original key it was done in. I just saw a recent video of him doing it without a capo, so he went from A flat down to G because he got older and can't sing that high anymore. But for now, we're going to call this G with a capo here. But it's the four-finger G with the second finger on the E string, third fret, fourth fret, the first finger on the B string, second fret, and then the third and fourth fingers at the bottom, because all these notes are heard in it. The G and then the third, the B, are in the bottom, and you can hear it on the recording. And then down here you do have the what would be a D and a G, or it's actually a E flat and an A flat. But both of those are heard too, because you hear this. That's the chord you hear at the beginning, so it's the full G. Then it goes to G flat or F in this case, and he doesn't do the whole bar because it's just the simple F chord, or the simplest one, with the third finger, fourth finger, second finger, like taking an E here and just sliding it up a half step. And then the bar is just the first finger on the bottom two strings. Just like that. And then to the C chord. Now the C is a regular C chord, but he puts the fifth or the A flat in the bass. In this case, we're going to call it a C chord with a G in the bass. So it's third finger, fourth finger, second finger, first finger, like a regular C chord. Now the thing about the C is this note is not really heard. That's the first string, the E string. So what you have to do is take your first finger and mute it. That's what you hear. You don't hear. You hear. Okay? I hope you can get that. And that's what gives it some of its sound, because that part, you don't hear the, you hear. Okay, so that's the first part. The chords, full G, F with the bass note as the fifth, and then the C with a lower bass note down here. So those are the chords. I have the diagrams there for you to see. So that's a start for it. Now we're going to go over the rhythm. Again, most of the teaching I see has this rhythm. Which is fine, but that's not what you hear in the song. On the verses, it's a little more like that, but the intro is very, very detailed in the fact that it has full body with a like that. So now you're wondering, okay, how do I go from that to the smooth version? They're not a lot different. And what we're going to go over now is basic rhythm guitar playing. And this has to do with the right arm, and a lot of it is with the elbow. See, the right hand in acoustic guitar playing of this style is the metronome, the timekeeper. It's like the drummer. And your hand is going down, up, 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 down, up. The whole time. It's just hitting the strings differently as it goes down and up. For instance, the first one is a or those are the rhythms that he uses at the beginning. Now he has a slap in there. Okay, here, let's see if I can get this closer. The palm of my hand is hitting the strings. Like that, where you mute the strings with the palm of your hand. Okay, so the rhythm is, it's down, up, mute, up, down, up, mute, up, down, up, mute, up, down, up, down, up, down, down, up, mute, up, down, up, mute, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, mute, up, down, up, mute, up, down, up, mute, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, mute, up, down, up, mute, up, down, up, mute, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay. So it gets a little technical there, but that's why I slowed it down. But when you put it in tempo, there's one other thing about the song, especially in the intro, is I believe there are two guitars there because the mute isn't as muted as I'm playing it. It's more of a... There's something like that going on in the background, but the approach I'm giving you seems to capture the feel of it. And that's what you need to do, is get the feel in your acoustic guitar playing. It's all about that relaxed feeling of flowing the rhythm and having it soothing to the listener. It takes a little practice. If you're having trouble with the chords, practice the chords. If you're having trouble with the rhythm, down, up, mute, up, down, mute, up, down, mute, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, mute, down, mute, up, down, mute, up, down, down, mute, up, down, mute, up, down, mute, up, down, up. One thing you need to pay attention to with the right hand is most of the rhythm comes from the elbow. It's moving the elbow and twisting the wrist if that works well for you. Everybody's a little different, but the right hand keeps time. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... So it is mechanical in the fact that the right hand never stops. It's always keeping perfect time, or as close to perfect as you can. It's just the approach with the mutes and where you hit the strings. Again, sometimes it's a full sweep, sometimes it's the middle of, like the middle of it like this. Like that, where you're just doing the middle strings. So if you notice, the picking hand goes. So the hand, it may be more centered on the strings, or it might be flowing through them all. But that's a choice you make, and that's what shakes it up a bit and makes it interesting and not sound mechanical, is when you're accessing the low strings or the high strings. You can play around with it and find your own way to do it and have freedom with it by where your pick is hitting the strings. The other thing, and I do suggest this at some point in your guitar playing, use your fingers, because it's more tactile. You feel what's going on with the strings, sort of like... The fingers then can have more control than just a pick. It's not as good for recording guitar, but it's a lot of fun to play when you... And you also get these... And that way you can accent the bass string. So, and that's the thumb back. A lot of options there for you. I hope you find this lesson helpful. And realize we drifted off a bit there at the end, but I think it's in your growth as a guitar player to try things that you're not familiar with is going to help you with what you're already familiar with. And to try things that challenge you will just help you grow. If you're stuck in a rut, it's because you're staying there. It's not because you're trying new things. So I hope that you will try some of these new things. And if you have any suggestions, any lessons you would like, let me know, and I'll be glad to put something together to help you out. Thank you very much.